it's as easy as making a small change when packing your kids' lunch for school. The program will cover much of Quinnipiac's Division I athletic programs, and that the TD Bank Sports Center will be a great part of the sports journalism experience. While many people like Andrew don't need an advanced degree for their career, research shows that it can benefit you financially in the long run. Just how are these kids getting their alcohol? Talia Landry has more. Captain Smith advises homeowners to keep all doors and windows locked to both their houses as well as their cars. Women over the age of 60 have a 1 in 6 chance of developing Alzheimer's. Workshops focusing on cooperation with both parties are very important for schools to take part in. The study also says that there is a limited amount of information that can be held by working memory. Kids are finding a new use for the popular chapstick Burt's Bees. According to a report by Oklahoma's Fox 25 News, Beezin is the latest trend in getting a buzz. When you ask a 6-year-old what his mom can do to convince him to eat his vegetables, what kind of response can you expect?
Taking out the seeds and putting a whole lot of chocolate frosting in them.
For mom Tricia Siefker, getting her 6- and 7-year-old boys to eat their vegetables is no easy task.
They're just very picky eaters, and we try to introduce, even if we get a bite, them to try a new bite of something. I consider that an accomplishment some nights.
Luckily for parents like Tricia, nutrition regulations are a high priority when it comes to school lunches. Food Service Director of the Cheshire Public School District, Madeline Diker, says that their lunch programs are some of the best in the nation.
We look at weeks and we balance what we have so that children have a choice. And once they have a choice, they'll make healthy choices.
According to research, after new standards were implemented at various schools by the USDA, the selection of fruit increased from 52.7% to 75.7%. And the portion consumption of vegetables increased from 24.9% to 41.1%. Quinnipiac professor and registered dietitian Dana White says that so far schools have done a pretty good job changing their ways.
I think in general the schools they've identified it as important and they're making efforts. But at the same time, you're still finding there's plenty of chicken nuggets and processed foods and the fried stuff because the kids are buying it.
But school is not the only place where kids can learn the benefits of healthy habits. Madeline Diker says by playing a more active role, parents can make a more positive influence on the choices their kids make.
Cut up the fruit, cut up the vegetables, have them in clear containers in the refrigerator so you make it easy.
What Diker means is it's as easy as making a small change when packing your kids' lunch for school. Instead of going for something like this, go for a healthier option like this. Reporting for QNN, I'm Nathalie Donaldson. Assisted suicide, also known as aid in dying, is the idea of giving a dying and coherent person a way to end their life at the time of their choice. Peter Wolfgang of the Family Institute of Connecticut feels this kind of power leaves too much room for abuse.
At what point does the right to die become the duty to die? Gee, Grandpa, you're costing us a lot of money. These are things that we're concerned about happening, affecting the overall culture of assisted suicide were to become legal.
But Tim Appleton, Connecticut representative for Compassion and Choices, says a person should have the right to aid in dying so as to die in a way free from suffering.
You don't get to be our age without knowing someone that has passed away. And it's our great hope that if you do, that someone, special someone, has died a peaceful death.
In the wake of Connecticut's attempt to pass a bill allowing a prescription to help end one's life, questions are bound to arise.
And it is in the caregiver's hands. And how do you judge their capability of responsibly administering it? You can't.
But while some see this end-of-life pill as a potential danger, others see it as a safety net.
But gosh, if it gets to that point that is just so unbearable, it would be like a friend in a little drawer in a little pill bottles, and that is there for me in case I needed it.
Karina Danvers was diagnosed with AIDS over 2 decades ago. She says if it came to that point, she doesn't know if she herself could end her life with the pill, but she does understand the secure feeling in being given the choice. But is it possible to make such an option legal?
There's no way you could have proper safeguards to protect this from abuse. It's really, the bill itself is terrible, the concept is terrible, and this thing really deserves to be defeated every year it comes up.
But Tim Appleton begs to differ.
It's not controversial at all. It's a reasonable expansion of fundamental right.
I think we're going to have a very big fight on this in 2015.
Reporting for QNN, I'm Nathalie Donaldson. Quinnipiac is now one of 2 schools in the nation to implement a Master's in Sports Journalism program. Professor Richard Hanley is the director of this new program and says Quinnipiac will be a model for schools hoping to adopt similar programs in the future.
We want to set the standard for academic excellence and professional performance. We view sports not as a game, but as a cultural endeavor of the highest order.
The Master in Sports Journalism will be offered as a 5-year program to undergraduates and is made up of 36 credits and will feature 11 core courses as well as 1 elective. Those who are seeking a job in sports journalism after college say the program is a great opportunity to get ahead come application time.
And it just gives us that advantage, gives me that advantage that I'm learning more that you would learn as an undergrad.
This is all about the students, has always been about the students, and always will be about the students. We hope this program will create the structure for them to channel their passion and knowledge about sports into a satisfying career.
Professor Hanley says that the program will cover much of Quinnipiac's Division I athletic programs and that the TD Bank Sports Center will be a great part of the sports journalism experience. Reporting for QNN, I'm Nathalie Donaldson. Between 2006 and 2010, there have been 35 reports of heart complications after smoking marijuana. All but 1 was reported to be under the age of 50. They attend this conference every semester to scope out new events to bring to QU. Those who attend get the chance to talk with agents and meet some of the performers. Some possible acts coming to campus are a new comedian and magician for Parents and Family Weekend. Women over the age of 60 have a 1 in 6 chance of developing Alzheimer's. Of the 5 million people who are affected by this disease, at least 2/3 of them are women. Much of what causes Alzheimer's is out of your control, but the association says that by staying mentally, socially, and physically active, women can lessen their risk. After a 75-day comment period, the FDA hopes to have all e-cigarette sales warn of the risk of addiction. E-cigarettes will not be permitted for sale in vending machines, and the age limit is expected to be at least 18. Companies will have to apply for the ability to sell and will not be allowed to give out free samples.